When personal lives and professional responsibilities intersect in ways that put every character's dedication to the test, drama is a regular companion for the people who live in Salem, who live in the world of Days of Our Lives, which is a world that is continuously twisting and immensely emotional. Drama is a regular companion for the people who live in Salem. Jada Hunter, a rising detective who is known for her keen instincts and harsh style, and Rafe Hernandez, the experienced police commissioner of Salem, are among the most interesting duos in the current landscape of Salem's police force. Jada Hunter is recognized for her stern manner and keen instincts. Known for her resolute personality and keen reflexes, Jada Hunter is a formidable individual. Together, they have matured into a powerful team, but their most recent challenge may very well be the one that threatens to destroy everything that they have worked for, both as partners in their professional activities and possibly as personal interests. This is because the challenge threatens to demolish everything that they have worked for. A careful examination of the fragile equilibrium that exists between trust, justice, and personal conflict is carried out throughout the course of this novel. Rafe and Jada, who each have their own set of challenges and vulnerabilities, are put in a situation that has the ability to either strengthen their relationship with one another or force them to become more distant from one another. In the manner that is characteristic of Days of Our Lives, this is a plot that is packed with secrets, betrayals, and challenging decisions that are made by the characters, those two officers who make up the Salem Police Department's formidable team. Over the course of a number of years, Rafe Hernandez has established himself as a familiar face in Salem. Given his position as the Commissioner of Police, he has been a witness to a wide range of events, including family feuds, mob warfare, murders, and as many mysteries as there are. Over the course of everything that has occurred in his life, Rafe has maintained his reputation as a man of honesty and integrity. He is a man who is committed to the concept of justice, even in situations where the boundaries between right and wrong are hazy. On the other hand, his life outside of the station has been somewhat complicated than straightforward. A number of heartbreaks have occurred in his love life as a consequence of his troubled relationships with Hope Brady and Nicole Walker, as well as his current status as a single person. He has also had a lot of heartbreaks in his personal life. Despite the fact that Rafe's heart may have been broken, his dedication to protecting Salem has never wavered, regardless of the circumstances. Jada Hunter, please do not hesitate. One of the most recent investigators to join the Salem Police Department is Jada, who is not only knowledgeable, but also a free-spirited individual. While she has made a significant amount of effort to develop her own identity, she is also the daughter of Marcus Hunter, who has a strong family legacy in law enforcement. This is something that she has been working hard to accomplish. If we were to claim that Jada's introduction to Salem was anything but subtle, we would be grossly understating the situation. Within a short period of time, she found herself immersed in the town's chaotic mix of drama, criminal activities, and complicated personal connections. Jada has shown that she is a tough detective, someone who is not afraid to venture into the shadows in order to unearth the truth, despite the challenges that she has encountered. This is something that she has demonstrated. The relationship between Rafe and Jada started out as a purely professional partnership. However, due to the mutual respect they have for one another and the shared dedication they have to their work, it has evolved into something more. Because of the implicit trust that has developed between them over the course of time, they have developed a close companionship with one another. This has led to the development of their relationship together. However, for the time being, they continue to focus on the case at hand, which is one that has the potential to change everything. Fans of Days of Our Lives have speculated that their relationship may eventually blossom into something more deep. However, for the time being, they continue to concentrate on the particular case. This is the case that will completely revolutionize everything. Not only is Salem no stranger to criminal masterminds, but in recent times, the city has been beset by a wave of high-profile thefts and violent attacks targeting important personalities. These incidents have occurred in recent times. The occurrence of these instances has taken place in more recent times. There has been a rise in the seriousness of the crimes, and the pressure that is being put on the police department to catch the culprits before they inflict any further harm is increasing. This pressure is increasing as the situation has become more serious. The most recent incident, on the other hand, is particularly delicate since it involves an attempt to kill Mayor Abe Carver, who is widely considered as one of Salem's most treasured leaders. The attack was carried out in Salem. As a consequence of the calamity, Abe is found to be in a serious condition, and the city has been thrown into total and utter chaos. In Rafe and Jada's opinion, this is a topic that is very close to their hearts. In addition to the fact that Abe has been Rafe's friend for a very long time, he is also a symbol of hope and justice in a community that is usually plagued by corruption. Rafe has known Abe for a very long time. Considering that the stakes have never been higher than they are right now, failure is not an option that can be considered. As Rafe and Jada begin to delve deeper into the investigation, they learn that the case is substantially more intricate than they had originally assumed it to be. This understanding comes about as they continue to investigate the case. There appears to be a high-level conspiracy that involves the political and criminal underground of Salem, according to the information that has been presented. This conspiracy is connected to the DiMera family, and it is likely that some members of the Kyriakis dynasty are also involved. As they proceed with their investigation, the situation will get increasingly dangerous as they go deeper into it. In addition to the fact that their professional livelihoods are at risk, they are also putting their own lives in this predicament, standing on the brink of failure. During the course of the inquiry, Rafe and Jada's relationship starts to become more tense than it was previously. Due to the fact that they are both under an extremely high amount of strain, the tension is beginning to take its toll on both of them. As they move closer to potentially violent suspects, Rafe, who has always been a protector, is becoming increasingly concerned about Jada's safety. This is especially true as they get closer to the suspects. Jada, on the other hand, is adamant about demonstrating her value, and she does it by questioning Rafe's natural urge to shield her from harm. She is more than capable of handling herself, and she is not going to be sidelined merely because the case is becoming more compelling with each passing day. She is confident in her ability to handle herself. Consequently, as a consequence of this dynamic, there is friction between them. The fact that Rafe is concerned about Jada is not only a manifestation of his genuine love for her, but it also serves to highlight the growing emotional connection that exists between the two of them at the same time. On the other hand, Jada is going through a mixture of emotions. She wants to be able to stand on her own 2 feet as a detective, but at the same time, she is attempting to make sense of the feelings that she is developing for her boss. Although neither of them is prepared to acknowledge the feelings that are developing beneath the surface, it is becoming increasingly harder to deny the fact that they are becoming more and more uncomfortable with each other. As the inquiry continues to move forward, they are getting closer and closer to a major turning point in the process: the disappearance of a vital witness who is in possession of the final piece of evidence that is essential to solve the case takes place under some circumstances that cannot be explained. Rafe and Jada had come to the conclusion that they are unable to trust anyone, not even some of their closest colleagues, in light of the fact that it is evident that a member of the police force may be implicated in the incident. As soon as this information is made public, their partnership will be put to the ultimate test. Rafe is beginning to have doubts about his own judgment, despite the fact that he has always taken a great deal of pleasure in his ability to lead and his moral compass. Is it possible that he has allowed his love for Jada to factor into the decisions that he makes? Is she, too, concealing something from him that he ought to be aware of already? During this period, Jada is also dealing with the internal turmoil that she is experiencing on a personal level. It is a secret that she has been keeping from Rafe, and it is a secret that has the ability to not only affect the outcome of the case, but also to damage the trust that they have formed between each other. An astounding admission of responsibility. There is a particular episode that will cause your heart to race, and that is the one in which Jada eventually reveals the truth to Rafe. She found material that suggested that a high-ranking officer who was a member of their own organization was engaging in the conspiracy during the preliminary phases of the investigation. This information was uncovered by her. However, she did not reveal this information to anyone else because she was unsure of how to proceed without putting either herself or Rafe in danger. She did not disclose this information to anybody else. Already having concealed their traces, the officer in issue was now putting the entire investigation at risk of falling apart because of their actions. It was already too late for her to realize the seriousness of the situation. The cop had already hidden their traces by the time anyone noticed. In the moment that Jada admitted her guilt, Rafe was absolutely taken aback. The very first thing that comes to his thoughts is anger, and he is filled with a sense of betrayal due to the fact that she did not come to him anytime sooner. However, once the dust has settled, he realizes that Jada was striving to protect both of them in a position that was impossible to achieve. This insight occurs after the dust has fallen, when Rafe finally lets down his guard and reveals that his feelings for Sarah have made things more complicated. It is the very first time that he has done so. Rafe responds, "You ought to have told me," his voice pouring with the weight of his feelings. "Thank you for not telling me. As a group, we intend to work toward achieving our aim. It is not necessary for you to go through this with no one else." On the other hand, Jada, who is also going through a difficult time, asserts, "I didn't want to drag you into this mess. My mind suddenly came to the realization that I had the feeling that I was protecting you." Their conversation not only signals a turning point in the case, but it also marks a turning point in their relationship. Both of these things took place simultaneously. In order to bring the corrupt police officer to justice and put Salem back to its former glory, they are well aware that they will need to work together and have complete faith in one another in order to achieve their goals. At the same time that the stakes are higher than they have ever been, their relationship is deeper than it has ever been. This is a first-of-its-kind situation, advancing progress in steps. Because Rafe and Jada are getting closer and closer to the end of their investigation, it is abundantly clear that their connection has developed beyond the state it was in before. The strength of their cooperation, which encompasses both their professional and personal ties, is greater than it has ever been before, despite the fact that the future is unknown. As a result of the case, they have become more intimate with one another and have been compelled to address their emotions head-on. This plotline is a fantastic illustration of the show's ability to mix high-stakes drama, emotional depth, and intricate characters and relationships. It is a classic example of Days of Our Lives at its finest, and also a perfect example of the show's ability to combine all of these elements. As Rafe and Jada continue to confront the challenges that lie ahead of them, fans are eagerly watching to see how the storyline of their relationship unfolds. Are they going to be able to keep their connection regardless of the difficulties that arise from Salem's dark secrets? Or will their increasing feelings make it more difficult for them to accomplish their mission of bringing about justice? What will occur in the bizarre and unexpected world of Days of Our Lives is something that can only be determined by the passage of time. In the world of Days of Our Lives, where the drama of Salem is fueled by family feuds, long-lost relatives, and buried secrets, there is always room for romance. This is because the events that take place in Salem are fueled by these things. Moreover, as of late, viewers have been captivated by the maturing relationship that is taking place between Tate Black and Sofia Hernandez, two young characters who look to be on the edge of something that goes beyond the realm of mere friendship. Tate Black, who is the son of Brady Black and Theresa Donovan, has lived his whole life in Salem. As a result, he has witnessed a number of the most notorious theatrical productions that have taken place in the city. Tate has been a witness to everything that has ever occurred, from the bitter custody battles that have taken place between his parents to the continual disagreements that have enveloped the Kyriakis family. On the other hand, now that he is entering adulthood, he is managing his own relationships and the obstacles that come along with them. It would appear that his heart is guiding him towards Sofia Hernandez, a relatively new face in Salem who, despite her own set of obstacles, is a potential romantic interest for him. This is despite the fact that she is facing her own set of difficulties. Tate is beginning to open up to Sofia in ways that he has never done with anyone else before, and this storyline is swiftly becoming one of the most talked about plot lines on Days of Our Lives. Fans of the program are witnessing this development. There is no way to deny the electric connection that exists between them. Yet the trip that they are on is anything but smooth. We study what it is about Tate and Sofia's relationship that makes it so special, as well as the problems that lie ahead for this pair in the complicated world of Salem. This is happening at the same time that the program is hinting at more fundamental emotional revelations. Throughout his life, Tate has faced a number of challenges. Tate Black has had a childhood that is everything from conventional. His upbringing has been anything but typical. From the moment he was born until the present day, his existence was formed by the high-stakes drama that took place between his parents, Brady and Theresa. This drama has continued till the present day. A roller coaster ride packed with love, betrayal, and redemption, all of which took place in the broad eye of Salem's most renowned inhabitants. Their romantic connection was a roller coaster ride. Because of this, Tate was destined to endure a childhood that was riddled with challenges, as both sides of his family fought for control over his fate. This meant that Tate would have a rough upbringing. When Tate was a young man, he had a hard time finding his position in the tumultuous milieu that constitutes the Kyriakis and Donovan families. He has struggled to find his place in this environment. He has always considered Brady, the man who is his father, to be an important figure in his life, and he has always been a substantial impact on the options that he has considered. Tate is cautious about slipping into the same traps that Brady has gone into as a result of Brady's tumultuous love life and issues with addiction when it comes to his own romantic relationships. Tate, on the other hand, has been left with feelings that have not been resolved as a result of Theresa's intermittent presence in his life. These feelings are particularly related to concerns about trust and what it means to be abandoned. Tate is currently in the process of constructing his own identity as he navigates the waters of adulthood. On the other hand, it has not been an easy process. His past relationships have been fraught with ambiguity, and he has repeatedly maintained a high degree of guard because he is confused about whether he can trust other people or himself. This uncertainty has caused him to keep a high level of defense. The fact of the matter is, however, that this occurred before Sofia Hernandez entered his life. A whale of clean air to inhale. That is the very nature of Sofia Hernandez. Sofia Hernandez is already making a reputation for herself in Salem, despite the fact that she has only been there for a short period of time. When Sofia arrived in town, she brought with her her own personal set of secrets. Sofia was the daughter of a renowned but mysterious family. It is abundantly clear that she is more than just a beautiful face. She is bright, powerful, and more than capable of holding her own in the world of Salem, which is usually tough to navigate. This holds true despite the fact that her backstory is continuously being exposed more and more. The fact that Sofia's family is largely isolated from the frequent power battles of Salem's elite gives her a perspective that is distinct from that of other people. This is because her family is mostly insulated from the power conflicts. As a result of the fact that she is not associated with the Kyriakis, DiMera, or Brady legacies, she is able to observe the individuals in her immediate area for who they truly are. She is liberated from the burden of history and the obligation to adhere to any one ideological group. Tate was initially drawn to her because of the youthful and upbeat outlook that she exhibited. This was one of the factors that initially drew him to her. By means of her, he is able to liberate himself from the intricate webs that the history of his family has woven for him. It is important to note, however, that Sophia is not without of her own problems. As a result of her mysterious history, which appears to involve her father in particular, her fans have been left wondering whether she is keeping something significant from them. Despite this, Sophia has been forthright with Tate about the difficulties she is confronted with, particularly her desire to build a life for herself that is distinct from the expectations that her family has for her. Both she and Tate are young individuals who are seeking to break away from the legacies they were born into, and in many ways, they are comparable to one another. Tate is also a young person. Whenever Tate gives himself permission to be vulnerable and open, the slow buildup of chemistry between Tate and Sophia has been something that spectators have been seeing over the course of several weeks. In the beginning, the two characters bonded with one another on the basis of friendship. They discovered that being in each other's company provided them with comfort while they dealt with the difficulties that their respective families presented to them. On the other hand, there has been a noticeable shift in the situation in the recent past. Tate has always been reserved with his sentiments, but it seems that he is beginning to relax closer to Sophia. This is despite the fact that he has always been reticent. An episode of Days of Our Lives that aired not too long ago brought to the notice of viewers a key turning point that occurred in their relationship. After having a particularly challenging interaction with his father, Brady, Tate went in search of Sophia, who had become his confidant. The person he had confided in was Sophia. A private conversation between the two characters took place in Horton Town Square, which served as the setting for the scenario. During this conversation, the protagonists admitted their affections to one another. Tate, who was visibly frightened, disclosed that he is terrified of making the same errors that his father did, and that he knows he is under a lot of pressure to live up to the expectations that his family has for him. It was with a sense of vulnerability that Tate stated, "I don't want to end up like him," and his voice resounded with the same feeling. "The last thing I want to do is cause harm to other people in the same way that he did." With that being said, there are times when I get the feeling that it is something that cannot be avoided. During the time that she was paying close attention, Sophia gently placed her hand on top of his shoulder. "Tate, you are not him," the individual murmured to her. "Tate, you are not him. It is up to you to choose who you will develop into in the future. There is more power within you than you give yourself credit for." Tate's life had a significant transformation as a result of the event in question. Sophia had the opportunity to become acquainted with the more complex and conflicted aspect of him that he generally keeps hidden from other people. Indeed, this was the very first time that he had ever given permission for another person to enter his life. When it came to Sophia, it was clear that her feelings for Tate were growing stronger to the point where they were becoming more and more intense. Rather than merely being a friend, she had developed into someone who had a deeper comprehension of him. She was no longer merely a companion. For Tate and Sophia, what does the future hold in store for them? Fans of Days of Our Lives are eagerly anticipating the next chapter in the story of Tate and Sophia's relationship, which depicts the growing intensity of their love for one another. Even while it seems as though they have a true connection with one another, the world of Salem is never without its share of complicated situations. The young pair will almost certainly experience challenges as a consequence of the troubled connection that Tate has with his father, the reappearance of his mother in his life, and the ever-present shadow of the Kyriakis family. There is little doubt that these factors will cause the young couple to face difficulties. In addition, there is a great deal more information that may be uncovered concerning Sophia's past. Her father is suspected of being involved in some shady dealings, which could have an impact on her relationship with Tate. There are suspicions that her father may be involved in that. Her family's background continues to be buried in mystery, particularly with reference to her father. As a consequence of her secrets, would they eventually become distant from one another, or will their bond be strong enough to withstand any difficulties that they encounter together? It is quite clear that Tate and Sophia's relationship is not even close to being terminated at this point in time. Since they have only started their voyage, it has already developed into one of the most fascinating stories that Salem has to offer. It is not yet obvious if they will have a happy ending or more heartache in the future. Perhaps they will have both. Recently, Salem has become the home of a new generation of drama. There is no disputing that Days of Our Lives is making an investment in its younger characters, so establishing the basis for a new generation of drama, love, and intrigue. This is something that cannot be denied. It is getting more and more obvious that this is the case as the show continues to progress. Tate and Sophia's budding romance is a good example of how the show celebrates the rich history of its famed families while simultaneously introducing new people and stories. This is an outstanding demonstration of how the program successfully integrates the elements of the past and the present. It is a reminder to viewers of the program that love can still find a way to exist even in a town as turbulent as Salem. And the fact that Tate is able to disclose his feelings to Sophia serves as a reminder of this truth. However, as is customary for Days of Our Lives, nothing is ever so clear. This is something that is always the case.